These are two Ammonite fossils. I've seen Ammonites before. They're an extinct ocean creature, but I've never seen them encased in stone like this. But these two discs are a little bit larger than a $50, and you can see they're not too thick, but they're still kind of weighty. They're a little bit more than you would want for earrings as far as weight goes. But if you can get them up close to the earlobe, weight means a lot more if it's tight or if it's hanging down really low and swinging, because the swing on the earlobe will put a lot more pressure and make it feel a lot heavier. So in any case, the person who sent these to me wanted them made into earrings, and she said I could just put a jump ring. I'd put one jump ring and one tiny jump ring and then a hook, and that would be it. I wouldn't just put one jump ring, because then the hook would go sideways and they'd be sticking out of the ear looking like this. So 2 jump rings to turn them the right direction, and then the hook. However, that's boring, and I want to do a fun video for you guys and make them look kind of cool for her. So this outer part is not really anything fancy. It's the fossil that you want to see. So we're going to do this pattern that I came up with. It's not a crazy, amazing pattern. Maybe somebody else has done it, but it's fun and it's easy. This is 20 gauge. I don't remember how much I need, so I'm going to take about 2 feet just to be on the safe side. And let's see if we can do this. First, we're going to put it through to the middle of the piece, and this will work with any small pieces you have that have holes drilled at the top like this, as long as you can determine they're not too heavy for earrings. So I'm putting these 2 ends together to find where the middle of the wire is roughly, and then I'm pinching it against the stone here. And again, I'm going to try to make this very tight. I'm going to give it 2 turns, and then I'm going to bend it on a right angle like that, put the 2 strands together and make my loop. I want my loop to be too big. Again, I'm trying to make it tight, but I don't want it too small because I'm going to have to scarf a little bit of wire up against it when I'm finished. All right, so that's good. And I'm going to fold the wire over like that, and I'm going to work this way around the piece. It doesn't have to be round. It could be rectangle, oval. This will work for any shape, but you basically, to follow this the way I'm doing it, you kind of want a hole at the top. And again, you could make this a necklace. This could be a pendant. I'm just going to do one to show you. So here goes. What you want to do is take these 2 wires and you want to bend them each like this with your finger. You can use a tool. I'd say just use your finger. And get them about as wide apart as like an 8mm bead. And, you know, you can just kind of eyeball it. But now hold it like this and give it 2 twists. 1, 2, like that. And then go for your next one. Bend it. Bend it. You want to try to get the same amount on both sides. You're going to mess up. It's not going to be perfect. You want to make it a little bigger than the last one, because when you twist it, you're going to lose some. But hold it tight and give it 2 twists again. And look, that one's bigger than that one. Don't worry about it. It's artsy. It doesn't have to be perfect. Do the next one. Take it, and that's good. Twist it, and look, I'm starting to get them slightly more the same size. So I'm learning as I go. And oops. Now, you can twist it one way and then twist it the other way. I think it'll be fine. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to keep going the same direction. Let's see. That looks about right. And we'll go twist, twist. And one more. If you remember, I keep crossing this one. So I'm still going in the same direction. And twist, twist. And I'm squeezing this really tight, because if you let this go, it will pinch smaller like that first one. Now, every once in a while, you're going to take it like this, and you're going to fold it across the stone and see if you got all the way back up to the top yet. Once you get up to the top or really close to the top, you're done with this part. So it looks like to me like I need roughly about 2 more should do it. 2.5 will get me right to here, and I don't need to be perfect, so 2 more loops. So we'll do those. Okay, now we're going to see, can we make it all the way around? Ah, perfect. That might be even too much, but we can always back up if we need to. So now, this first one is, not the way I wanted. Probably because I probably should have given it a couple more twists before starting. So right when you come out of this loop here, you should probably give it 2 twists to start. I think that's why this one is getting super, it's like trying not to be a wide loop. It's trying to, the wires are trying to come together. So we want to pull the wires on either side of the stone like this and press down with our fingernail. If you don't have a fingernail, if you bite your fingernails, you can take your pliers carefully and pinch them on each side. You can even carefully put them together and try to stab them down on each side, but be very careful. It's much easier if you use your fingers and fingernails. Try to get that one. Now that one's not perfect, but we're going to move to the next one. And we're going to squeeze it over, pinch it down, and then the next one. And as we do each one, we're trying to get tighter and tighter as we go around. And this would actually work really good with 22 gauge. This 20 gauge is actually fighting me quite a bit. So if you have 22 gauge, I would say do it with that instead. But I'm going to muscle through this. Just keep messing with it and pressing on both sides. Now, if you do undo one of your loops, you're going to end up with these little swirly things that could kink the wire. So what you want to do is carefully unwind them and try to get the wire back. Pinch it flat. Try to get it all the way back to straight, carefully, very slowly and carefully, like that. Don't just yank on it, because you could end up forming a weak spot where it crimps and then the wire actually breaks. So we're trying to carefully turn it every which direction, get the wire as straight as we can. Try to make it look like it was before, so you can't even hardly notice. All right. Now when you come back up to the top, you put these two together. And again, I'm still messing with these, trying to get them really tight. I'm pulling really tight, pinching these together like this. And there we go. Pulling as tight as I can, and I'm going to start scarfing. I'm going to come around and around and make the loops stack up higher and higher until I'm satisfied. Then I'm going to push them up a little like that, cut them halfway across, and tuck in those two sharp ends. Maybe if they're sticking out too much, you can give them one more little cut. Make sure you get them both. Make sure you don't cut any of the other wires, or it'll mess up the whole thing. And gently push these towards the middle of that little bowl, and then turn and pinch them down into the bowl. Straighten that a little bit. And it's leaning off to one side a little bit funky, but that's okay. And just straighten it like that, and straighten these a little bit. And it's not going to be perfect again. So just it's a funky, different one. And then once you put the earring hooks, nobody's going to notice all your little imperfections that you think are so glaring. I am going to, again, try to press these on either side. And again, I'm going to say you should probably use 22, even 24 gauge, which are thinner gauges, because this 22 is really fighting me. I'm going to make it work, but it is fighting me. But I like how this looks. And it is coming out pretty strong and secure. So, yep, I'm going to use the pliers. Even my fingernails are starting to give. There we go. Yep, and get the pliers in there and really get it in there good. These pliers are helping a lot to tighten it up. I'm literally just grabbing each end carefully and just pulling down on it. And it's starting to look really good. I was about to give up for a second and just go to the jump rings, but I'm liking this. Doing this second one, I'm learning from the mistake of the first one, and before I start making my big loops, I have my top loop, and I'm going to twist it again twice. 1, 2, very tight. Now I'm going to start making my loops, and I think this one might come out even better. This is also a good way if you have a pretty stone and you want to wrap it in silver, but all the beauty of the stone is in the middle, and you're not worried too much about the edge, and again, it has a hole at the top. So you can decorate the edge like this and without obscuring any of the front if you have like a really pretty design on your stone that you don't want to cover up. And pulling everything as tight as possible, holding it from every direction to make it tight. When you're done scarfing it and you want to go back and make each of these loops tighter around the stone, you pull from one side like this and then turn it and pull from the other side so it's evenly, and then give it a good pinch for good measure. So give it a little pull, give it a little pull. Maybe if it's hanging over one side more than the other, you can kind of adjust it as you go, and give it a pinch. And voila. Now, me personally, I think I did much better on the top loop with this one. It's much neater. But someone looking at it at a glance, I really don't think they would notice which one they like better. They're just kind of rusty and funky, and they go. And much more interesting than just putting a jump ring and a hook, right? All right, and now they're facing the right way, so you just need the hook, and you're done. Obviously, make sure the hook is going into the earlobe in the direction that the side you want to face out is facing out from the ear.